take a look at a couple of the bright spots, starting with Celsius, ticker CELH, a big earnings move, as you mentioned, Ken, up 30% for the day. Very heavy volume, seeing that relative strength line at a new high, along with the huge gain today and some really big numbers from Celsius today.
Yeah, Chris Gessel brought this up on IBD Live this morning, and it's actually a name that I was not familiar with. But they make basically calorie burning fitness beverages. So they've got some ginger in the drink and green tea and all these things. But it is a stock that definitely bucked the trend today. It's pretty liquid. You can see up at the top of this MarketSmith chart, it's got an average daily volume close to 1 million shares. Average daily dollar volume, I think it's over 30 million at this point. So it's pretty liquid, and you can see big growth down at the look at big sales growth in recent quarters. So the company's selling a lot of product. At this point, when you see a big move like this on earnings, we talk about this a lot, but you want to see some just tight sideways action in the chart. A 1 or 2% decline tomorrow really is not going to look like much in light of a 29% gain today. So if this move is for real, you would expect the stock to maybe hold above the 30 level and trade sideways for a little while. You don't want to see a violent drop tomorrow. That tells you that the move might not be for real.
Yeah, and let's take a look at the intraday chart really quickly. Like you said, we talked about this on IB Live in the early going. I mean, you could have looked maybe
Off the heels of a newly announced partnership with Pizza Hut, Beyond Meat is still tweaking and trying to perfect what it says is the perfect plant-based burger. Brian Sazi, what are they doing to that end?
Yeah, Julie, new news out this morning from Beyond Meat, coming out with two new burgers. One is called the Beyond 35. As the name suggests, 35% less total fat than 80-20 ground beef, about 5 grams of saturated fat. And the other one is what I would say is their low fat burger, the first one. That's called the Beyond 55, closer to 3 grams of saturated fat. And I talked to Beyond Meat founder and CEO Ethan Brown about this. He's pretty jazzed up about it. It moves the company closer to its holy grail of burgers, Brown tells me. Ultimately, both these burgers will be in restaurants and grocery stores. Stock is still under pressure this morning following that disappointing third quarter. At long last, you can now get a pizza with plant-based meat on it. Pizza Hut and Beyond Meat are making this one come to life. Let's bring in Beyond Meat founder Ethan Brown and Pizza Hut interim president Kevin Hochman to discuss. Good morning to you both. Ethan, let me start with you. So when I saw this news, I see it's a national type of deal. It's limited time, but it is national. How does this move the needle business-wise for Beyond Meat?
Yeah, and first and foremost, I really want to comment on this incredible leadership we've seen out of Pizza Hut and the Yum Brands and the vision they had for this. They gave us the opportunity to work months and after month on making the product as good as it possibly can be. So this is all natural inputs. It's all from plants. It's absolutely delicious, indistinguishable in my view from the pork sausage. And so it's something that I think demonstrates the ability for us to partner with a major brand on a national level and be very successful. The results so far have been amazing to see, just the incredible interest among consumers. So I think it's a win-win for both brands and something you're going to see a lot more of.
So Kevin, this product has been out. It's two pizzas. It's been in the market for a little bit. What have you seen? What's been the customer response?
Well, yesterday was the launch of the Beyond Pizza. So we have a Great Beyond specialty pizza with Roma tomatoes and zesty banana peppers, crisp red onion, and then we have and obviously the Beyond Pizza Hut Italian sausage, and then we have just a one-topping Beyond Italian sausage. The first day was great. We had unbelievable response all across the country. People really just wondering, is this really not real meat? And Ethan and his team have worked really closely with our chefs to really replicate that Pizza Hut Italian sausage flavor, whether it's fennel or garlic. And I got to tell you, it's hard to tell the difference. I was having my wife Ann taste it yesterday, and she literally said, I think this is real. I said, no, this is definitely Beyond. So we couldn't be more excited about, what our customers are going to say and are saying about this pizza.
Kevin, I'm curious, we've seen certainly the Beyond products offered at other fast food chains. What kind of traffic are you expecting from it? Because we have seen that in some cases, right? When plant-based offerings come to, mass chains across the United States, it does create some buzz. How much actual traffic bump are you expecting? And do you think it'll be sustained?
Yeah, well, there's three things that we're going for when we launch, the Great Beyond Pizza and the one topping Beyond Sausage Pizza. The first one is obviously traffic, what you said, right? Now, I can't comment on exactly what our expectations are, but obviously we expect to get more foot traffic, more clicks, more orders online from this pizza. The second big thing is just check. I mean, obviously, a little bit more for, and that's what we're seeing with.
All right, let's turn our attention now to a stock that's under quite a bit of pressure this morning, and that is Beyond Meat. The company last night coming out with a quarter that was quite disappointing for investors across the board. Their slowest revenue growth since going public back in the spring of 2019. We see shares here off some 22%, Brian Sazi. And I know you went through the call, you went through the release from the company. There's a number of troubling dynamics here for Beyond, but I would kind of just start with, when you're a growth business, you can't come out and say we grew, 2% quarter over quarter.
Yeah, Miles, this quarter is tough to take. I think what you're seeing in terms of the market action, Beyond Meat shares are down about over 20%. That's pretty much what you were seeing in the aftermarket hours after the earnings last night. This is a reset, I think, on the stock's multiple, because now investors, after a quarter like this, are reassessing the company's growth prospects for 2021. On the earnings call, they did not hide the fact that their food service business, restaurants, is under pressure. A lot of these indoor dining rooms are under pressure. They're closed. A lot of the big fast food restaurants are delaying putting new items on the menu. We won't include Pizza Hut in there because Yum Brands Pizza Hut now linking up with Beyond Meat. We learned that this morning. But listen, Miles, lots of focus on the growth rate for the business, but also McDonald's. Founder Ethan Brown noted on the call, their relationship with McDonald's is very strong. That is important, especially after you saw the stock fall yesterday on news of McDonald's coming out with a planned burger.
I mean, he can say whatever he wants about the relationship with McDonald's or with anybody else, right? But if McDonald's decides to go its own way and just make its own burger without a partnership with Beyond Meat, then that's what's going to happen, right? I mean, if you look at the rise in competition, I mean, if you go into many grocery stores now, you'll see a lot of different choices in your freezer case. It's not just Beyond Meat. And that's really an explosion that's happened in the last 12 to 18 months, right? So Nestle, of course, as you well know, Brian, is making one of these things now too. Impossible is still there. So I think that's going to continue to be an issue going forward as well, both from the fast food chains themselves and then other consumer packaged goods companies that are making these things.
Well, McDonald's, Julie, just has to get its hand.
now let's take a look at BEKE Holdings. Had a big day today, a recent IPO up over 11. And this was our stock of the day. And there's been a lot of talk, especially today, a lot of IPO buzz. But this is a great example of why you want to wait just a little bit. Doesn't have to be very long, but you don't want to be buying on the first day of trade. You want a little bit of confirmation that things are heading in the right direction first with IPOs.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of people were kind of, there was a lot of buzz about Snowflake today, SNOW, and JFrog, FROG. But, you know, what I kind of wanted to point out on this one is that, hey, there is still an appetite for risk here, you know, because a lot of times when the market is very sluggish or, you know, very fearful, you don't see these kind of moves in your IPOs. You know, it's usually kind of the higher risk is kind of shied away from, but we really haven't gotten to the high fear levels in this market. You know, put call ratio, a lot of the psychological market indicators just aren't really high. So there is definitely some appetite for risk still, and this is something that's kind of interesting. You know, it's in the Chinese market, providing online and offline platforms for real estate. And, you know, you got to consider that here, you know, anyone that's involved in real estate, you're familiar with the MLS listings. In China, they don't kind of have something like that. That's a standardized approach. And so KE Holdings is kind of offering some of that digitization, optimizing and standardizing the real estate market and what is really an underdeveloped market. So they have kind of an edge in doing that. And today, you know, as you mentioned, it broke out above that IPO base at around 55.70. This is something that went on to, I'm sorry, 54.70. This is something that went on to leaderboard. And the price that we got in at was around 55.40, and it just kept on going from there. You can see it really zoomed, you know, from there. So again, there was a lot of look at the IPO market today, and KE Holdings was, you know, kind of top on a lot of people's list.
That's right. And strong sales growth is something that we like to especially take note of with IPOs, and it's already profitable and strong annual earnings estimates. So very good to note there as well. And last
definitely read that stock of the day article. I think Bill Peters did it today. So
yes,
worth
our stock of the day, great every day, gives you just that added perspective. I mean, first we're focusing on stocks that are actionable most of the time, depending on market conditions. So that's really great. And then we're going over the story as well. So great to note that, Justin. Thank you.
Ray is joining us now because everything is Tesla, 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 but not so fast. Neo, 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 which I don't know how that translates, but Neo is getting some action here.
It sure is. The Chinese electric vehicle company just reported its third quarter results, beating on the top and the bottom line, coming in with revenue of $666.6 million. That came in above estimates. Its adjusted loss per share came in at 14 cents. That's narrower than what the street had been expecting. Its gross margin was 12.9%. That was also a beat. And the company also raised its revenue guidance. That beat estimates. The company says that it's going to be seeing deliveries anywhere between 16,500 to 17,000 vehicles for the fourth quarter. And in their earnings release, founder William Bin Lee highlighted basically a record quarterly deliveries of over 12,000 vehicles in the third quarter, also followed by its best ever monthly deliveries of 5,055 vehicles in October. The stock year to date is up over 1,000%. In after hours, I've seen that it's been a bit volatile. I believe it's down right now. It was in the green earlier. The street has 11 buy ratings on this stock, 5 holds and 2 sells. But really, the NIO story has been its acceleration as far as deliveries are concerned month over month this year, with October being a record high. Also leasing its batteries, announcing a launch of leasing its batteries during the third quarter. Its battery swap technology, which it has, and also a liquidity injection that it received during the pandemic. So a lot of bulls out there as far as NIO is concerned.
And as when you take a look at these numbers, though, I mean, 1,000% gain that you were talking about in the stock, how much of this is a bet on the future? Because when you take a look and drill down into the numbers, the vehicle deliveries that you rattled off aren't that impressive when you stack it up against many of the other automakers. And then, of course, they also don't have a lot of vehicles just in terms of models. And I know we're supposed to expect some new models in the not too distant future, but I still think, though, when you take a look at the stock performance, it almost doesn't add up to what we're seeing from NIO so far.
And that's why you also had short seller Citron Research last Friday, which basically said that the stock is going to go to $25 a share. He said that that valuation just can't be justified, citing basically Tesla's market share, its size. And look, when you compare Tesla to NIO, yes, Tesla is much bigger. I mean, NIO had over 5,000 deliveries in October, but Tesla, last year, NIO had 20.5 thousand deliveries. Tesla had 368,000 deliveries. So you can see that Tesla has much larger deliveries. Last month, Tesla delivered more than double what NIO delivered. So, but as far as the pace at which NIO is growing, that's what you're looking at. And you're right, a lot of this is based on the future. Also, keep in mind that the electric vehicle space has had a lot of tailwinds from a lot of capital that's been flowing into these companies. So as Tesla has surged, so have some of these other EV startups. In fact, you had XPeng's vice chairman just last week that was talking to Brian Sozzi, saying that the rise of Tesla has helped his company, and also, of course, the incentives in China against air pollution, because China wants to have 25% of its vehicles by 2025 being electric vehicles. So certainly this is what's helping out these EV startups. But NIO is one to watch, one that analysts have been watching, and many analysts saying that they can coexist, that you can't have Tesla and NIO coexisting in China.
Many, many thanks, as I'm humbled already by everyone's support.
Appreciate you. You get a free stock in your account that can be worth anywhere from $12 all the way up to $1,400.
It's free real estate.
Free stock, totally free. You get a stock with Microsoft, Visa, Johnson & Johnson. All you gotta do is sign up for my link down in the description. Sign up for Robinhood. All you gotta do is fill out some information about yourself and link your bank account. And literally, that's it. That's all.
Light up that like button, or smash the like button. Regardless of which metaphor you prefer, this small action really helps me grow the channel, and I appreciate it.